What's going on, Facebook? This is Shane Willis bringing you this week's episode of How's the Market, Pensacola. I'm actually doing it a little live now. I'm going to start trying to do these live on Facebook instead of trying to do them recorded and edited and all the other stuff. I just figured it'd be much easier live that way. Also, if we start to do an interaction, that was some of the feedback that I got from you guys, was that if there was any interaction that needs to happen, I'll see if I can't catch those questions while we're live on Facebook. So I'm going to start doing these live every week. Just like my other show that I do, 5 Minutes in Real Estate, that I do every day, 5 days a week. We started that live this morning. So it'll be the second time I've gone live today. School got back in last week and noticed a few more wrecks around town. So I know last week I said, hey, let's drive safe. Be safe. The buses are out there. You need to give yourself just a little bit extra time. But I've seen a little uptick in that. So there's the PSA, drive safe. Drive safe. All right.
I'm a man on a mission.
My mission is to help people break through all the noise out there and
Don't need no permission.
I want to help you get to actual truth. Don't you just want the truth?
Let's get right to the show. If I can figure out this software. Okay. We're going to do this. Yeah, there we go. This is how, if I can move this around, design ideas. I don't need design ideas. I know how to design. All right, so this is the slide I always start out with. And what does this slide say? This slide says, if you have 6 to 7 months worth of inventory, that is considered a neutral market. If you have more than 7 months worth of inventory, that's considered a buyer's market. If you have less than 6 months worth of inventory, that's considered a seller's market. Why do I always start out with those? Because as you're going to see here in a minute, we have all three in both counties. Okay, I get aggravated, and I know I say this every week too. I get aggravated when people ask a real estate agent a question, hey, is it a buyer's market or a seller's market? And they just answer, yes, no. And I hear it's a seller's market a lot. And there is a majority of the real estate price points that fit in our average that do fall in the sellers. But I had someone ask me the other day, they wanted to sell an $875,000 property at in a rarity point. They said, hey, is it a buyer's or seller's market? I said, buyers. They actually called me back. They were like, you're the only agent. You're the only broker that said it was a buyer's. Everybody else said it's a seller's market. Why would you say it's a buyer's? Are you wanting to beat me up on price? I showed them the 2 or 3 weeks worth of shows. And I got a text message last night going, can we set up an appointment? Because it sounds like you're going to be the only one that's not going to give us a line. And I'm not trying to bash anybody else. I'm just saying, sometimes people say, hey, it's a huge seller's market. Well, that price point is not. That price point's a buyer's market. So you have to differentiate. You have to put your house differently. So let's take a look. We're going to start this week with Santa Rosa County. And if you noticed right here is our, first of all, our price points. And over here is our month's worth of inventory. Okay. And this has been pretty consistent over the last few weeks. So if you look all the way up to about 500,000, it is a hyper seller's market in Santa Rosa County. The only caveat is the 3 to 350, which has been that way I think this has ranged between 3 months and 3.5 months for 5-6 weeks now. Okay, so that's been the only caveat. Look at the 100 to 150 now. 100 to 150, there's 1 month's worth of inventory. We have 29 properties. That's it in Santa Rosa County. So if you're trying to buy between 100 and 150, you've got 29 options, and some of them are not so bueno. Okay, that's it. So anything under, is that 450? Yeah, it's 450. Anything under 450 in Santa Rosa County, which used to be 400. So this has kind of bumped up some too. But I'm seeing that a little bit because the statistics actually lag some. We see that the amount that are under contract, and you're starting to see inventory drop. That's normal right after school starts. It's just normal. So it's interesting that, about the 2 to 250 is the most active, has the most active amounts at 1.9 months worth of inventory. 250 to 300's got under 100 properties. So, and this is in all of Santa Rosa County. So you got to pay attention here. And here, let me make this screen full so you can see what the rest of the county looks like. So the rest of the county, you've got between 3 and hang on. Oh, wait a minute. What happened? Because that's not right. That looks like the last one. That's because it is. Let's get back to Santa Rosa County. See what happens when you go live? It happens all the time. It was inevitable. It was going to happen. So we get to 450 to 500, and that's when we go up to just a seller's market. Now look at that 4 to 450, man. That's 1.9 months worth of inventory. There's only 17 properties there. And then 500 to 650 looks like that's floating just a straight neutral. 500 to 650 is going straight neutral. Although I would argue the 550 to 600 is a buyer's market. I don't know why they have that as yellow as a neutral. Because if you remember the first slide, anything over 7 months is considered a buyer's market. So I would call this one I would call neutral. This one I would call neutral. This one I would definitely call a buyer's market. So, but let's take a look at 650 to 700. Creeping up on 2 years with inventory. And then over 700,000, we got 6.8. So that's actually back to a neutral market. All right. There's not as much inventory at that point as compared to Escambia County, which we will see now, actually. All right. So what I'm looking at in Escambia County, which really threw me off there for a second because we were talking in Santa Rosa County, if you remember, it was all the way up to 500,000 was the hyper seller's market. It's not the case in Escambia County. So if you're selling in Escambia County, pay attention to this. It is a hyper seller's market. Looks like all the way up to 300,000. So 300,000 looks like a hyper seller's market. 300,000 and under. And if you remember, that 100 to 150 was drastically different as far as the amount of inventory. We have inventory in Escambia County. But if I remember correctly, it was like 20 something. Hang on, let's look. Yeah, look at that. 100 to 150, there's 29 homes available in Santa Rosa County, whereas 100 to 150, there's 115 homes available. All right, that's a huge difference. So 250 to 300, you're at 2.7. That's where the hyper seller starts. But all the way up to 500,000, still considered as sellers. And if you notice that 4 to 450, remember how that was like the pocket this summer, especially the spring going into summer? This got up to almost, I think I almost got to 12 months worth of inventory. That weird pocket, well, it's obviously worked its way out because now it is just flowing normal. This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is a normal market. Your lower price inventory could be a hyper sellers because you've got such a high demand for that particular point, especially our first time home buyers, military coming here, investment properties. These all fit normally in that under 300,000. It's where they fit, 300,000 and below. As you start to get from 3 to, 5 or 3 to 450? No, 3 to 5. It's still a seller's, but you're creeping up on a neutral. 5 to 550 is flat neutral. That is a definition 6 months worth of inventory neutral. All right. I would say the 550 to 600 is probably a buyer's market as well, just like in Santa Rosa County, where we saw that at 8 months worth of inventory, yet they still kept it in yellow. So let me scoop this over real quick. I want to make sure I show the whole. Yeah. See, again, technical. I'll get it worked out. So the 5 to 650 is considered neutral, but 550 to 600, you better start pricing that as a buyer's market. 650 to 700, hyper buyer's market, and above 700, again, hyper buyer's market, but a lot more inventory. If we looked back at Santa Rosa County, there was 43 properties at 700 plus. Here, there's an extra 50 properties. So you got 93 plus, 14 months worth of inventory. So that's the market. Again, I'm trying to figure out how to do this live thing so that we can continue making this interactive. Because that was, again, some of the questions that I got was, hey, can we make this interactive? I don't suspect that I'll get a bunch of comments to begin with, but if you see the replay, If you see the replay of this show, make sure you hit some comments and let me know if there's some other questions you want me to answer about things going on around Pensacola, maybe not just about this data. I don't mind chatting for a few seconds about what's going on around here. I kind of got the finger of the pulse of this town. So let me know. And if you catch me live, that'd be a great time to ask a question, because then I could answer it right here on the air. All right. I've got some big news coming up, probably in the next 3 or 4 episodes. There's some much larger news, some things I've been doing to help better serve my clients, not just as a real estate broker, but there's a few things that I can't give you any more than that. Sorry. But I'm going to announce them in the next few episodes. So probably in the next 3 or 4 episodes, I'm going to announce those things. Thank you so much for watching. There's your data. If you plan on doing anything in real estate, whether you're buying, selling, renting, if you plan on doing anything over the next 12 months, like all the way through the end of next summer, if you're even considered it, call me, reach out to me, send me a direct message on this. Let's chat. Like I said, I had a friend of mine over in Oklahoma. I was stationed with him out in Hawaii. I hadn't talked to this guy in 20 years, but he saw the show, reached out, and we've been chatting back and forth. He's picking up an investment property. And I've just got a network of agents around the country, actually around the globe, that I can hook you up with. So you plan on doing anything in real estate in the next 12 months, give me a shout. But the other favor I always ask is that if this show at all brought you any value, do me a favor, like, comment, share. Thanks for watching. Have a great, great week.
I'm a man on a mission.
My mission is to help people break through all the noise out there, and
Don't need no permission.
I want to help you get to actual truth. Don't you just want the truth?